Hello everybody. In this video we are going to continue using an API and we're going to construct an application that will pull up information from an API just the same way that we did before, but I just want to do a different approach, and also I want to use a different API in order to be able to show you how to go through those public API, how you can actually consume that information. I will show you a little bit how to read the documentation, how to understand a little bit what is the process, and the authentication that every API have. So all that is actually different, and I want to show you that. So let me go. Actually, before we create a project, I already created my project in my Google console. It calls MoviesDB. I already created my web application. I call it web, and from there I already have my keys that I don't want to show right now, but they are already. I already have all those. So please proceed doing all that. The way to do it, and remember, use the same way that we did in the login video, because I want to use authentication and usage. And the application that I want to use is actually the movie database. The movie database API will give you information about movies. It can give you about TV series too, but I want you to focus on the movie section. It can give you the poster, the information, and I want to do something a little bit different, not to make the same way that we did it before. That when you click a movie, you can actually see that movie information. I don't want to do that. I just want to keep like a 2 buttons per movie. One button is like added to your loved movies that you actually watch it and you like a lot. Another button to put it like in your watch list, like your pending movie, something like that. And we will be handling 2 different lists, and you will select in the movies depending where you want to put those. And of those buttons probably we can make it a little bit smarter. Now, whenever you already like a movie, you cannot like that movie twice. So we can actually have that kind of functionality and logic. But you cannot see anything and you cannot do anything if you're not logging into the app. So this is pretty much what I want to use. And I want to guide you how to get your application number. So you already know how to get it from your Firefox console. So just follow up with that. And for the movie database, you need to create an account. I will put both links in the description. So after you create that account, you go to settings, you select API, and from there you request that API. And when I'm not clicking it because I don't want to expose my keys. But when you select that, and it will give you 2 different keys. One is going to be like a query key, and the other going to be access token. And the access token is actually the one that we are going to be using in our application. If you go to the API section, it will send us to a documentation website called developers.themoviedatabase.org. When we click that, the first thing they're going to give us is code to actually get your key. We are going to be using the version 3. That's really important. And actually, whenever you have your account, you need to click in your account circle on the top. After that, the same way that I told you, you need to open your settings. Then you need to select API from the left. And in there you will see something like this: request an API key. Click there and follow up like a form that you need to fill. Just tell them that it's for a school project or something like that, and they will give you a free API with some limitations, but it's still a free API key that you can actually use. That key is the one that will allow us to go and request information from the movies. So go on, follow up that, and you will have your keys there. And after you have your keys, the way that we're going to be using is not through the IP key, it's going to the bearer token section. Bearer token, we are going to pretty much get the access token, and we're going to send it in a header as an authorization. I know that it's too much to digest right now, but you will see that through the code it's going to be easier. Another thing that I want to introduce in this video and probably just too much, but you know me, guys, is I want to introduce Beautify. So we are going to be done actually using Tailwind for now. Tailwind is pretty cool. I like it a lot, and it's more when you need to have a full control of your design. We've been creating different components, and we applied some Tailwind CSS stylings in there, and then we can repeat and use those. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. The thing is, we take time creating those components because you are creating those components from scratch. So one thing that exists over there are components library, and you have a bunch of component library, and one of the most famous one is Beautify, and Beautify is a material design component framework. And they give us an example how many components they have, and there's another one like you can see actually over here: Vue Bootstrap, Vue Element UI, Vue Material Quasar. So what is actually that? You go to the documentation, and let's go to the left side UI component, and let's go to application. They are predefined components that will allow us to do several things, like having a navigator, an application bar, the content, and a footer. So those components are already created. So let me go, for example, in the avatar section. They have this avatar component where you can actually put like an image, or you can specify the tile section. You can actually specify a sizing, and that information of those props that component have is already defined in this documentation, and you can do things like this really easy. If we click in this section to view the source, we're going to see the way to use it is just call the V avatar, assigning a color, and then in this case is assigning an icon directly. It's a media account circle, for example, or an avatar, and you select an image and you define where that image will came from. The same with another avatar, another color, and you will see that actually gets rendered. So it's just a component library that will help us to have that. This is like a more advanced usage. You will see these little animations and components in there, and we see the source. We'll see it's actually doing a subheader there. We have expansion panels, and those expansion panels are going to be repetitive. We have expansion panels header, expansion panel content, and go on and go on. So there have already components that we can use. We have badges, for example, those little icons like this one. We have, let's see, banner, but it's actually those ones. It's just a simple banner. We can have button navigation, like this one, like the one that we have in the cell phones. Let me go like for buttons. We can have those buttons. We are ready. As you can see that animation when you click it. Okay, those are right there. Then we have different kind of buttons. Outline, for example, rounded, text buttons, or 5 icons. So you have different options that we can use. And we have, for example, calendar objects. So instead of doing those squares, you can actually have a calendar already embedded, or you can have the cards, traditional cards. You can have the dialogues. This is pretty cool because when this element they just pop up with that zoom in animation and that background get grayed out a little bit, is already a component that you can define, and they give you the source code how to use it. And they have a bunch of those. They have form icon elements. They have image. They have snack bars. All those little notifications that we have. So let me actually get this one. No, you can see we have several ones. They have some kind of spiral lines that are like a little animated graph, and there is a bunch of those. So they have a lot of predefined components that's going to be easy for us to actually to use. and I want to show you that, and I will guide you through the documentation a little bit. So I believe that's enough for the introduction. Please get your Firebase information, get your movie database access token authentication, and start reading a little bit the Vue.js documentation. So I will stop the video right now. Let's keep it this like an introduction of what we're going to be doing, and let's start coding in the next one. See you guys.